Welcome to the Red, White, and You podcast here on this Friday game day here in Allen. But I got to ask you first about the weather, Marty. 2 straight years in a row in February. Last year was that big snowstorm, and then we just get blasted with an ice storm yesterday.
Yeah, when you're back home up north, you got shovels, snow blowers. It's just another day another day. But down here, obviously, they don't have anything to get the streets cleared off and the sidewalks. You got to be careful walking around if you're not used to it, because most people don't know as soon as you hit the brakes, your car slides and won't maneuver, and walking on that ice is pretty treacherous at some places.
Do you have any problem driving to the rink this morning?
No, but you're not, when you're traveling a short distance, it's easy to drive slow. When you're going longer distances, you don't want to drive 50 miles an hour. So you just got to be careful, and you got to not be in a hurry.
Well, I know, Paulson played with an injury the other night. Looked pretty good out there. He was flying around, hitting, doing his usual thing. Is he going to be able to go again tonight?
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. He was pretty sore the next day, and, he's playing with a break. So he's out. He's going to go on the IR, and he's going to be out for at least a month.
Can we get any of the other players back?
Didn't look like it. I mean, it's kind of day to day on guys, but I'm anticipating basically the same lineup minus Paulson, for tonight and tomorrow night.
This Tulsa team, they're a little tough to figure out. You look at our roster compared against theirs, and there's no question at who has the better roster. But other than the 8-0 win for us in the last game, they'd beaten us a couple times in a row. What is it about that team that they've had success against us?
Well, they're like several teams in our division. They're just hard work, and they have a lot of guys that that were third line guys. I look at it as going through junior and going through college, and they're block shots. They defend well. They work hard, and they make you work for the opportunities you have. So they throw pucks at the net from everywhere, and they get bodies at the net, and they just dump pucks in, and it's a pretty simple system, but he always has those guys playing that style to the max.
I know we talked about it before our last pregame show, but again, Jackson Leopard, the only goal for us the other night, up to 11 now. He's got a shot at 20. He continues to play well, and obviously has earned some time up on that second line.
Yeah. I mean, he's been a bright spot for the young guys, as developing and playing with more confidence. And he's got all the tools. He's got speed, he's got size, he's got strength, he's got toughness. He's good at changing directions, and he's just going to continue to get better and better as the season goes on.
Quickly back to that Wichita game the other night, only the one goal for us. What do you think was the biggest difference in that game for us?
Well, I mean, when you stack a line, we got Asicek, Costello, and Combs. They got to be plus. They got to outplay somebody, and I mean, that's the problem when you put those guys all on one line. They got to produce, and we didn't. We didn't produce on the power play, and we didn't produce even strength. So, until we get right now, we have we had three top six forwards out. With Gould and Truck and Butcher. So. It's opportunity for other guys, but the flip side of that is you have some of your proven players out of the lineup. So the guys that are in, they got to step up, and it's one of those games that they got to produce.
Does that Asicek line stay together tonight?
Well, until I get, either Butcher or Truck back, yeah, it stays together. And they've been pretty good, obviously, the last month, and it was a tough night for them to not have their A game, but we need it this weekend from them, and we need it to start the game tonight.
Just last thing, quickly again on Costello, winning the Player of the Month. I know that the fourth time in his career there, it's good to get. I know we didn't have a point the other night, but good to see him get going with 20 points last month in 15 games. And I know you talked about with that injury, Marty. Especially coming off that knee injury, it's harder to rehab. If you were, I know you're not a doctor, but you play one on TV. If you were to assess where he is at percentage-wise right now, where would you say?
Well, I mean, he's back. I mean, he's back to where, he was before he got injured now. I mean, it's been a significant amount of time. So, really it's just, making the plays in the game now and being consistent, which he certainly was all last month.
All right. Thanks a lot, Coach.
Hello, Americans fans. Former American defenseman Nolan Dakota here with a message from Fast Signs in Plano. Both Plano locations are independently owned and operated by myself and are proud partners with the Americans for this season and the Americans Drive for Five. At Fast Signs, we understand the burden this difficult time presents on businesses, and helping you to solve your changing visual communication and business challenges is our commitment. Mention this ad when you call Fast Signs in Plano for 10% off your next order. Fast Signs, more than fast, more than signs.